If you're looking for a 3-row mid-size SUV, but you like adventure and get off the road from time to time, you need to consider this one. Welcome to Side Road Auto. I'm Carlos, and today we are driving the Ford Explorer Tremor. Since this is the adventure version of the Explorer, we have things like off-road lights and these cool-looking wheels with all-terrain tires, this amazing color, the black mirror cups, the roof racks, all these off-road oriented elements. But this is a 3-row SUV, it's for families too, and the interior is really important. So let's take a look. Okay, the cabin remains Explorer. It has a few details here and there that tells you this is a Tremor trim. It is utilitarian enough, but still comfortable and premium enough, I would say. So the best of all worlds. So the materials are all nice and soft and high quality. They feel really nice, and the combination of the materials is really nice. I really like it. There are some cheap plastics here and there, but nothing that will take away from the general feeling of good money that you are paying and your money is getting back in this cabin. I really like it. The seats I find really comfortable, and they are heated in this particular Tremor trim. They are also ventilated. The steering wheel also comes wrapped in leather and is heated for the Tremor, and I like it. It's thick and nice in your hands. It feels sporty. It's flat in the bottom. I really like it. And then we have all windows with one touch up and down, and 3 memory seats for 3 different drivers, which is typical from Ford. The seats are in this, I will say, Alcantara fabric here or something with leatherette, and have orange contrast stitching across the whole cabin. We have the Tremor logo here. As I said, really comfortable. And then in the dashboard, we have this trim here that I really like it because it feels utilitarian and it's not carbon fiber or anything, so it's unique. And this plastic trim here, but have this texture and have the Explorer logo. I really like it. My favorite part though is this fabric here that is like speaker fabrics, to remind you that you have a B&O premium sound system here, and it goes across the dashboard. It's unique, it's different. Ford is using this in some of their vehicles. I like it. And down here then we have this soft leatherette wrap portion, also with contrast stitching. Really nice. Everything, everywhere you see and you touch is soft. Same that here is wrapped in this leatherette, and it's cushy with the contrast stitching. Super nice. We have a 12.3 inches digital gauge cluster, and it has a Tremor theme here. I like it. It's brownish, golden-ish, and it have all the information that you need and can have, and you can configure what you want to see in the middle too. Then we have drive modes here, and I have to say something. The graphics on the digital gauge cluster from Ford are the best. These are incredible. And the drive modes we have here is Tow, Sport, Eco, Normal, Slippery, Off-road, and that's it. But there is a little animation here in the middle when you change them. Really, really nice. And then we have here a 13.2 inches massive screen. So this is pretty handy. It's high there, so also you don't have to take your eyes too far from the road, and you have apps, and you can configure and all the settings from the car. Here has Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and Google integration for what I can see here. That's pretty cool. So this is nice. We have also a pretty big 360 camera that is handy to have. The air conditioning controls though are included here in the screen, which is not uncommon in some of the offers from the market. They are always visible, so you don't have to go through menus, except for some of the function. That is okay. My only issue with this is when you start the car, if the screen doesn't start fast enough, and we live in Canada, so when it's super cold, you want this, you want to be able to have access to this pretty quick. And when we have the summer, it's super hot, so same story. But hey, they function. And then down here we have this little tray here, which is handy to have, and we have a volume knob and some buttons to some of the functions, including the camera. Then we have here another cubby with a wireless charger, and we have two cup holder and an extra cubby here, your rotary shifter from Ford. The center console is pretty big, and the glove box is also pretty big. I sit behind myself based on my driving position. There is plenty of space for my knees and my height. There's an armrest there, cup holders, the seat can be reclined and they can be moved back and forth. There are air conditioning controls and air vents. So I like this cabin, and few years back the Explorer interior wasn't the greatest. Here I like the design, I like the materials that they have chosen, how they are combining the materials. It's utilitarian, but you can still, have some level of comfort and premium. I really like it. The Explorer in this Tremor trim comes with two engine options. The first one is a 2.3 liter 4-cylinder EcoBoost engine that produces 300 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque. The second one is a V6 EcoBoost 3-liter engine that produces 385 horsepower and 415 pound-feet of torque, both really good numbers for the class. The engine is paired to a 10-speed automatic transmission, and the Tremor comes all-wheel drive standard. The Tremor also comes with all-terrain tires, skip plates, and an off-road tuned suspension. Let's not forget, the Explorer is capable of towing up to 5,000 pounds. Fuel efficiency for the Explorer Tremor is 12.1 liters per 100 kilometers city and 10.1 liters per 100 kilometers highway, which is 19 mpg city and 23 mpg highway. That's for the 4-cylinder. For the V6, is 13.8 liters per 100 kilometers city, 10.6 liters per 100 kilometers highway, which is 17 mpg city and 22 mpg highway. Let's talk about price. The Tremor trim starts in Canada around the 62,000 Canadian dollars, and in the US, the Ford Explorer Tremor starts around the 48,000 US dollars. The Ford Explorer competes in the midsize 3-row SUV segment, but this adventure trim is against vehicles like the Honda Pilot Trail Sport, the Chevrolet Traverse Z71, and the GMC Acadia 84. As you can see, they couldn't be closer to each other. So it will be a matter of your preference of brand or style, I don't know. At this point, if you like the price and how the Explorer is sitting in the market, let's see how it drives. Well, the drive of the Ford Explorer Tremor does not disappoint. It's super nice. I said this in my previous videos on Ford products. I like how Ford build their cars, and they all feel so solid, like there is something about them. We will go through all the details, but it's really nice to drive. It's comfortable, even while being a Tremor, and it feels tight and somehow dynamic to drive. I like it. So let's start with the cabin. The cabin is very, very well insulated. And remember, we are on all-terrain tires because of the Tremor trim, and there is I cannot find any difference. Maybe they of course produce a little bit more noise, but the driving itself and the how car remains comfortable is really incredible. So the insulation may be helping with that for sure, but I took it in the highway and everything. It feels nice, which is good because you still get the Tremor advantage of the tires and be able to get in dirt roads and all that, but you are still, when you are in the city and using the car in your daily A to B life, well, it remains really comfortable. The cabin is really, really quiet. I like that. Now the suspension is a little bit firm, which is to be expected to me at least, if you get in a Tremor trim, because you are looking for that and the adventure and the being able to get off the road. So that is okay. It's still very comfortable. In the highway was fine. I do prefer this type of suspension, so to me it's perfect. But hey, as I always said, make sure that you test drive, because you need to make sure that this is for you. The seats, because they are really comfortable, they help with the suspension. By any means is uncomfortable. I'm just saying it's a little bit firm, nicely firm. It's not a negative at all. And that firmness, which I also felt in the SD line, it makes it feel sporty, and beyond that, I think it feels planted. I feel so safe driving this car, and the best part to me is that it drives like a smaller car, and I really, really like that. I was in the highway, and I was, passing and changing lanes in a safety way, but you feel that you can handle this car, and the car is with you, and not that the car is doing something else and you are trying the car to do something different. It's so reassuring, and there's a safe sensation and a driving sensation here that I really like. Love the Explorer in general, and of course it's the same case here. The Tremor is doing that same fantastic job, so really good there. The brakes I find also really good. The modulation is great. They are easy to use. You get used to the first second that you get into this car. They feel powerful enough for the size and the weight of this car. No issues with the brakes whatsoever. Visibility is great on the Explorer. The windshield is huge. The windows are tall enough. There is a big window after the second row. The blind spot on the D-pillar is not the bigger that I have seen, to be honest. It's okay, you have blind spot monitoring, a 360 camera that will help you to park at least, but visibility is great. The back window, I have full visibility too. It's really nice. Then we have the transmission. This is a 10-speed automatic transmission, and it is good. Has been responding well. Sometimes it's a little bit slow to downshift, and because of my issue with 10-speed transmissions, not the Tremor or Ford specific, is that, when you need the transmission to react, she has to move all over the place to find the exact gear that you need to be, or the car needs to be, depending on what you are doing. So I'm not a fan of 10-speed transmission. I prefer from 8 down. But this one is good. And this car has so much torque that really doesn't need to downshift that much, and the power is always there. So I think the engine is a star, and the transmission is just helping a little, but the engine has so much to give that is crazy that, we have this amount of power on this engine. The steering, one of my favorite parts too on the Explorer and this Tremor trim as well. The steering wheel is super nice in your hands. It's sporty, feels sporty. And then the steering is really quick, and it's not too soft, it's not too heavy. I really like it. And it also worked in my favor when I was in the highway, off the highway, like this, plus the suspension, and it just makes a car, as I said it before, makes a car feel smaller to drive, and I really like that. It feels agile, this car. I cannot believe that Ford was able to do this with the Explorer, which is one of, it's a big 3-row SUV, it's not one of the smaller, so that is really impressive to me. This car is fun to drive, despite of the size and the family-oriented original purpose. I really like it. It feels dynamic. You want to push it. It feels smaller. It's just somehow all put together like an old-school vehicle, and you just drive. It's so easy to drive and to live with. I really like it. In fact, I love it. Then we have the engine. It's a 2.3-liter EcoBoost turbo engine from Ford that produces 300 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque. That's a lot. It's a lot of power, it's a lot of torque for a 4-cylinder and for this vehicle. So you never feel that you are looking for more power. The car reacts really well. As I said, it's so torquey that when you floor it, doesn't even need to downshift all the time and push the car with no issues. The highway adds speed so quickly. In fact, you have to be careful because if you are not paying attention, the car takes off and keeps going and going. It's really nice to drive. It's really cool. I don't think you will ever need more power than this. You feel that this is a 4-cylinder only from stops, I think, because the car is so well insulated, you can barely hear the engine, especially in the highway. When you are in a stop, you feel and you hear, even though it has a growl there, like it makes you feel that you have a bigger engine by the sound. You can tell it's a 4-cylinder, but just because of the sound, I would say, not because of the lack of power at all. It's the opposite. It feels always ready to go. In that sense, the transmission is a good combination because I haven't found the transmission taking away from what the engine can do. So really nice, really all well put together, really well calibrated. It's so nice. Each time that I like the Explorer, this is our second Explorer for the channel, watch the other video, I am just in love. I just like a lot the Explorer and how the Explorer works all together. Not to mention there is a 3-row and you can take your family and your stuff and all that, but you can also feel like you are driving, a solid, very well put together product.